Today we're checking out this thermostat with housing assembly for the 2012 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. If you're dealing with coolant leaks around the housing, overheating issues, or a warning light tied to a stuck thermostat, this is a direct replacement that brings your cooling system back into spec, so it's definitely worth checking out. This assembly is designed as an OE style replacement, combining the housing and the actual thermostat into one ready to install unit. This is going to restore proper coolant flow and temperature control, which is critical for engine life and performance, especially on Wranglers that see slow trail work, hot days, or running those highways. Because this is built to match that factory part, the hose connections and the bolt locations, the sensor ports are all going to line up where they should, making it a straightforward swap rather than some type of custom job. And if you stick with me, we'll show you that install just here in a minute. When it comes to the construction on this, you are getting a durable thermostat housing paired with a metal thermostat and quality sealing surfaces. This durable body is going to help resist corrosion compared to the old cast metal pieces, while the internal thermostat uses a brass element and spring to handle constant heat cycling. The housing includes the necessary sealing lip in the gasket area, so when it's torqued down correctly, it's going to keep the coolant where it belongs, and it stands up to daily underhood temperatures. When it comes to the price on this, it's coming in right around that $100 price range. That is a relatively small investment for a part that plays such a huge role in keeping your engine temperatures under control and the long-term health of your engine. When it comes to the install on this one, it's going to get rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You can have this job done in about 30 minutes of your time. To get this job done, the tools you're going to need are going to be a ratchet and socket set, specifically a 10mm socket, an extension, a flathead screwdriver, some channel locks, and an oil pan. So let's see exactly how this install goes with a video from one of our ExtremeTerrain customers.
So the first step of this is going to be to drain the radiator. And we got a peacock here at the bottom of the radiator, and then you got a little hose piece here that you could hook something to. I don't have a hose that fits it, so we're just gonna try to hit our pan. And for my pan, I got a pretty much a hotel pan that you would see on a catering line. And we're gonna see how much we can get in the pan versus the floor. It's turning pretty easy, it's just getting to it. And we have success. All right, so now that it's draining, we're just gonna let that flow out. And then what we'll do, we'll go up top, pop the radiator cap. That'll give us a little more flow here. There we go, we'll just let that keep on going. So we got pretty much drips now, so got as much out of there as I really need to. And then the rest, when we pull the thermostat out here, it's right down here under the intake. The rest will go ahead and drain out of there. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that off, and we can pretty much start pull off the top cowl here. It's got a couple of little pins here that go right in to the little nubs. So that pops right off, just set that aside. And then to get to the actual thermostat housing that's actually right down there, we're gonna go ahead and pop off the intake. It'll just make it easier. So this one's actually an aftermarket. So we're gonna go ahead and just take off these two little brackets and bands that hold the intake on the throttle housing. And then we'll just remove this pipe unit. And then the other end's just a hose clamp, so we'll loosen her up, and then that just slides right off. We got one more here, we'll probably breathe the hose. Using a little screwdriver extra. There it is. That's just a grommet piece, so just a 10 mil. And then there'll be a little sensor clip on the stock unit. And then when you put that back on, just don't forget to actually reconnect that. the way off. All right, there we go. So just set the intake aside. So the part we're actually replacing is actually right down here, the throttle body. And this one, actually, the front of it, being the plastic housing, developed a crack, 1-2 right here, that was spraying coolant right out the front of the unit. So obviously need to change that out. And we're gonna start, we'll go ahead and remove the coolant hose. We'll get a pan underneath. Get another hotel pan, that way it just collects everything. No need to coat the garage floor. So simple hotel pan. Get that out there with the coolant hose best we can. And then we're gonna pinch on this with a pair of channel locks, slide that hose back. So you might be able to actually see it, but yeah, the whole front of this, I'm picking at a crack right there. So the front of it actually cracked off. There was about 4 days off-roading there, and she finally had enough. But luckily got home before it actually started spewing. With this, you can slide that back just a little bit. So we got her moving. Just get a little shallower. And there we go. That just gets the pressure off the actual fitting. Let's work that guy right on back. This Jeep's got about 100,000 on it, so these parts have not moved in a long time. I actually don't feel any fluid in there. So what we'll do, just because it's really fighting me and I really don't, last thing I really want to do is put any metal on the rubber hose. All in there. So what we'll do, we'll actually pop the two, you got a 10 mil on the top, 10 mil on the bottom. We'll pop off the thermostat and then we should be able to just spin that thermostat out. And once she's loose, there we are. So that's the one at the 6 o'clock position, and for the other one, it's actually even deeper, so I'm actually gonna get a little bit of extension on there. Yeah, and the thermostat on the outside of it, it'll actually have a little bit of a gasket on there, so hopefully that all just pops off with it. All right, so we got the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock removed, so this just pops right off of there. As you can see, we've already drained the coolant. Slid the clamp down a little bit, make sure that's still not holding her. And then actually, I think it might have been just a little bit, just longer thermostat than I expected. There we are. Yeah, I think our clamp is just on there just a little extra. Alright, so as you can see, our gasket actually stayed on there. So obviously pop that off. New one will have a gasket on her, so definitely don't need to keep that old one. Pretty clean little surface, but we're gonna take a little emery cloth or metal cloth, as they call it, and just clean that up. Got that old gasket on there too, so you definitely want to get all of that old gasket out of there. And it is aluminum, so anything too aggressive you gotta want to stay away from. All right, so with that cleaned up, we're just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna give it a quick little wipe, get any excess off of there, especially on the bottom where it might have dust or something might have settled in. Nice clean rag. Yeah, very good. All right, so as you can probably see on the old one there, that's why we're changing out. Crack right through the front. So, plastic unit. Typically it's the spring that wears out. At about 100,000 miles, this will just quit opening and closing just because of so many cycles. But we're gonna get rid of that one, put in a nice metal housing. Definitely be much improved. But as you can see also, we got the gasket here, and we're gonna go ahead and just pop both bolts on, then we'll snug them up. Be sure that gets nice and seated. And I'm just gonna put just a little lubrication on that, just give it some movement. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop that on. Obviously keeping the backside toward the coolant hose. And we can slide that on once we're in there. Got a few threads in there. Maybe a little block. Last thing I want to do is cross-thread anything. So we'll just use our socket, give it a little assist. Definitely a hard area to reach. And the 6 o'clock bolt, much easier area to reach. Goes in nice and smooth. Just gonna finger snug. And then as you saw when I took it off, both of them pretty much broke free nice and easily. So we're just gonna match that, if you will. But definitely do them evenly since we're doing a gasket. Just going back and forth. Just matching the torque on both sides. And you're gonna feel right when it pretty much makes contact, and then just give it a little snug at that point. Again, no reason to get crazy with it. Primo. Then as easy as it was to take off, it'll be nice and simple to go right back on probably. Just slide this coolant hose up and over that guy. And you see there's 2 little tabs on here. It'll bottom out right on those tabs, that means you're on. And then we'll slide that clamp up. All right, so we're gonna push the hose on up once you get the grip on that clamp. Get this wire out of the way. So essentially you just want to line it up with those holes from the clamp that were originally there. And that's pretty dead on. But I will double check it. Alright. So as you can see, both bolts, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock in there. Clamp slid up. The hose is going all the way to the 2 little tabs on that thermostat. And then we'll go ahead and get the intake on. Intake reverse of what we just did. Get that hose on there. And then we should actually just be able to kind of push this box up. There we go. And then a little nub underneath. This slid all the way up, and then just be sure connect all the pieces back, including your electrical sensor underneath. That's an easy one to forget because it's completely out of the way. And then we redo the bands, very similar to the throttle body. You want to get those kind of in the same exact spots. All right, so that's all buttoned up there. And then one last little hose here, and then obviously we unclip back there, so I'll get those pieces as well. But essentially same exact location. I'm gonna put it on, then we'll clip it in. Nice. All right, last piece of the intake will be the filter. And that just slides right in the end. Put it all together. I'm actually gonna get that rubber piece just on this side of that. That way the engine's able to still move around. All right, so now we're gonna close off the peacock underneath. That way it seals the radiator up. And it's actually a good grab spot to do that from the front. All right, so now we just gotta get coolant back into the system and pretty much burp it out because you just don't want any air in there. So now that we've drained the lines, we just gotta get all that air out of there. And the way we do that actually is gonna be this no spill kit and makes burping easy. Whatever you wanna call these, no spill kit, radiator burper. So we'll lock this down. Go ahead and attach our funnel. Try to get all that sealed up best we can. Luckily it's plastic on plastic, so. All right, so what this does essentially, lets us put coolant right in the top of here, and then that'll drain down, and then we'll start it up a couple of times, let it run, keep this at a good level. Actually, I'll spin this around. So we got levels here on the front. Keep it at a good level, and then we'll just keep adding coolant until all the air works out of the system, and then we'll just be sure we're good on our levels on the coolant tank. There you can see it's already taking it in. And judging from the pans, pretty much the amount of coolant I'm gonna wanna match. Wasn't a full drain, because I didn't pull it, I didn't run it much. But we'll just let that seep in there. Keeping it at a good level. And obviously, could have put fluid directly in before I put this on a little quicker, but this is a nice, easy funnel. I'm not in a hurry. Plastic back on. Engine cowl plastic. And same way it came off, those little nubs. Actually has little clips in the back of the grab. One. So a little clip on the driver's side there. Grabs that. That way, get that extra seal. All right, so we'll do a visual check. So both parts of the thermostat on, got all the hoses on, the intake. And then we just want to get it fired up, get that coolant working around in there. But when you do start it, we also want to be sure that we keep that nice and full. Yeah, and then your reservoir here, your markers for the reservoir are actually gonna be on the side. Pretty much just get it underneath that max line. Don't want to go too high. When she gets hot, that's where it's gonna go. So as air bubbles keep coming out, that means obviously fluid's going in. We're just working that air out of the system. A couple of coolant lines that are gonna be the difficult one to reach over here on the side. So that'll be the heater core. So you can turn on the heater as well, just to be sure that that's still functioning. And get everything nice and moving around the coolant system. And then we will bring the temp, or at least I will, just bring the temp up to full pressure. That way the thermostat opens, closes as it starts to maintain the actual engine temp. And then of course, visually give it a leak check. No spraying, because obviously you're gonna get pressure in there. And then once it opens and closes a few times, give it another little check. But looking pretty good. No spray there, and then obviously double check your peacock underneath. It should be a vertical angle. Pretty much that peacock, it just spins once around, and then you put it back in. All right, so as you can see, well, we've got a couple more bubbles actually. So, a couple more bubbles coming out. Again, radiator fluid going in. Still clean, no sprays. Gasket strong. And hose feels like there's some pressure in there. Oh, we're definitely still taking some fluid. Yeah, there's some big bubbles there. So what I did is now that we're hot, I went ahead and turned the heater on, just get that heater core working. So, and also the reservoir is still pretty empty over here, so it's still pulling in. A couple squeezes on that coolant hose. Yeah, now we can tell we're getting there because coolant is actually coming back out. And we'll just seal that off for a second. Alright, so the coolant actually came up, so kind of implying that it's had enough, and then took it back down there. And it's still flowing in, but no new air bubbles are coming out of the system, so
probably pretty good, pretty sealed up in there. We'll keep an eye on the levels. And we'll just pop this off of here, just like the radiator cap. A little excess, and that is also why I have cardboard on the floor. There we are. And obviously this has gone in and out of the system, so I'll just get rid of that probably. And right to the top. Very good. So I'll give that some miles and double check that after a period of time. Everything's sealed up, looks good, sealed. No spray, no leaks. So that's the thermostat swap out.
All right, well that wraps up our review and install of the thermostat with housing assembly for the 2012 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JKs. And for all things Jeep, keep it right here at Extreme Terrain.